Check. Hey yo, Super Californialistic Indiana-docious 317714, share with y'all what both did. One morning I woke in CA, temperature 91. It was 1991, the 9th month was when life begun. For a boy who would enjoy playing with toys and games, a unique kid growing up he would avoid something that his friends were very fond of. But to him more important was the trust from his mama, so he would spend his sunny days with a funny face, making others laugh, but at times had ugly days. A little fool in middle school who would think what he did was cool, but really only making his mama's life more difficult. Despite the trouble, kept a good head on his shoulders. Optimistic, lots of wishes got him thinking more. Playing football in high school, his knee dislocated. Months later, the Midwest, his family relocated. Story of a kid who moved and his whole life changed. Moved out of state and it flipped his whole mind state. Born in CA, but CAIN was where I stayed for 5 years, man. It was culture shock to my brain, but I'm saying that I'm saying never felt with my cane. So even if I'm crippled, it is simple, this is what I say. CAIN, CAIN. You know where life begins, but you don't know where your life ends. That 36-hour car drive was unforgettable. Emotions running, overcoming, now we love forever though. Cause even though the circumstances weren't the most favorable, we just weren't abandoned in advance, cause it just made us grow. Eventually adapted with some practice, weren't afraid of gold. Temperatures and taxes kept our balance so much later, so we could afford a better life. It was when I began to write. We had almost given up, everything just seemed out of sight. Worked our way up from the ground, you're bound to blossom. Our lives had it true, it's true. I found it cost us a trip 2,000 miles away. But this is why I write today. Share my story with those struggling, decide to fight today. You've got to fight for your right to party, but don't let that right take your side, you'll be sorry. Anyway, the slow pace in the Midwest is relaxing. Plus the greats must leave some day. Shout out to Phil Jackson. Story of a kid who moved and his whole life changed. Moved out of state and it flipped his whole mind state. Born in CA, but CAIN was where I stayed for 5 years, man. It was culture shock to my brain, but I'm saying that I'm saying never felt with my cane. So even if I'm crippled, it is simple, this is what I say. CAIN. You know where life begins, but you don't know where your life ends. All in all, I've loved every experience. Besides, you just cannot take life very serious. The periods you go through and phases you live through will kill you. If you don't understand, they're meant to build you and fill you with wisdom. So listen very closely. Closing your mind only leaves you on the opposing side. It doesn't matter if you don't agree with everything that people say. Perspectives aren't like secrets. Like when you see a situation in a book you're reading, they'll also vary with the places and people you meet with. So open ears, listen up when someone else is speaking. You may very well find exactly what it is you're seeking. Quit sleeping and seep into your brain out of the concept. You will be content when you find the positive contents, because life is beautiful. Just don't be lost in all the nonsense, the conquest, the contest. Your progress is a process. Story of a kid who moved and his whole life changed. Moved out of state and it flipped his whole mind state. Born in CA, but CAIN was where I stayed for 5 years, man. It was culture shock to my brain, but I'm saying that I'm saying never felt with my cane. So even if I'm crippled, it is simple, this is what I say. CAIN. You know where life begins, but you don't know where your life ends.